Now, let's walk along the river towards King Edward Quay. You'll see that the old steel sheds were transformed into the Montreal Science Center and its adjacent parking lot. You can just imagine the hustle and bustle of workers docking ships and the loading and unloading of merchandise. Before, during, and after the Great War, my grandmother, Marie, would bring my grandfather, Camille, his lunch. Every day around noon, she would walk the short distance between her little seamstress shop and the port. My grandfather worked as a longshoreman with his two brothers, Jack and William Bordelot, right here on King Edward Quay. My grandmother liked to walk along the quays to admire the boats and observe the comings and goings of workers and travelers. She was fascinated by the flurry of activity and the bazaar-like quality of the port. She liked to say that she traveled halfway around the world every day to bring her dear Camille his lunch. Of course, in 1920, the Port of Montreal transshipped tons and tons of imported goods: coal, petrol, steel, wool and silk, sugar, coffee and tea, machinery and tools, clothing, food, books, furniture, and all sorts of expensive knickknacks. Imports were big, but we also exported a lot of stuff. At the time, Montreal was the world's largest grain handling port. Consequently, we exported a lot of food products. Wood and potash, always popular, but also stuff like butter, cheese, meat, and fish. The unifying force behind this spiral of imported and exported goods, dock workers, hundreds of dock workers like my grandfather. In more ways than one, they were the strongest link in that chain. And believe you me, you had to be strong to work on the docks. Armed with their ubiquitous hook, longshoremen would work relentlessly from dawn till close to midnight, and even later sometimes. It usually took a team of 20 dock workers to unload a boat. 3 men on deck, a signalman and 2 guys to work the winch. 9 down in the hold, 2 on the quay to receive or dispatch the loads, and another 6 to warehouse the items in the shed. A large majority of the dock workers were French-Canadian, like me and my family. But there were also a few immigrants, mostly Irishmen. Of course, dock workers weren't exactly choir boys. From what my grandfather told me, I understand that they were a rather rowdy bunch at times. Hey, I'll see you in a moment on the other side of the King Edward Quay to talk about the Marine Tower on the conveyor quay.